So you've seen the conventional wisdom is Trump is killing democracy, right? Hey, get it done by Friday, Trump demanded. Trump called and threatened the director of the NIH to expand the use of blood plasma. Trump is politicizing every institution until our democracy falls. Hashtag Maddow. There's another corporation will save us. Save our democracy, corporation, please. The thing that's killing it. Please save it. Manufacturing consent. Please save us. Maddow. Rachel Maddow. The millionaire from Comcast is going to save democracy. The millionaire propagandist. Well, why do I bring this up? Because Trump is politicizing every institution until our democracy falls. Our democracy has already fallen, by the way. We don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy. And if you think the Democrats care about democracy, Wisconsin Supreme Court rules to keep the Green Party off the ballot. That's from the Democratic Party. They're not about democracy. DNC stands for not democracy. Democracy, no, chump. That's what it stands for. Democracy, no, chump. This ruling bolsters hopes for Democrats who feared presidential nominee Joe Biden could lose a small share of his votes to a third party. Yes, Joe Biden could lose a small share of his votes to a third party and a large share of his votes to him being an awful candidate. When you have a system where candidates feel they're entitled to votes, that might be why they won't support policies that 90% of the country actually supports. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Maybe that's why Joe Biden won't support a policy that 90% of the country supports, like Medicare for all. I'm sorry, 90% of his base, the majority of Americans. The Democrats are so weak. They're literally afraid of Howie Hawkins. The Democrats are so weak, they're literally afraid of Howie Hawkins, the Green Party candidate who was polling at roughly 0%. That's how weak, that's how corrupt and awful Joe Biden and the Democrats are. They're so horrible. They know they can't entice anybody to come vote for them, so they have to make sure they take any of their alternatives off the ballot. And that's what the Democrats are doing. Justice Brian Hagedorn broke with his fellow conservatives to form a majority with the court's liberals that kept Green Party nominee Howie Hawkins and Angela Walker off the ballot. Which judges made this happen? The resistance judges, baby. They're resisting giving you a vote, your choice for vote in November. That's what they're really doing. They're resisting you taking part in democracy. The State Elections Commission split 3-3 last month. The commission's Democratic members opposed putting Green ticket on the ballot because Walker had listed 2 addresses on her campaign paperwork. 2 addresses are frowned upon. 2 totally different policy positions. That's rewarded. Walker said she listed 2 addresses because she moved while the Green Party collected signatures to get on the ballot. She and Hawkins this month asked the Supreme Court to put them on the ballot, contending the State Elections Commission hadn't followed the law. You see how afraid they are of the Green Party? You see that? How afraid they are of you having a fucking choice? Pardon my language. Because she moved during the ballot signature process while they were qualifying for the ballot. Because she moved, they said, "Oh, sorry, you don't get to be on the ballot." That's great, because while most members of Congress get fake addresses so it looks like they actually live somewhere, changing your real one can mean you lose ballot access. I love it. And plus they call... We were screwed, Hawkins said in a statement. Partisan hacks should not be running elections for their own parties. That's exactly right. He's right. Justice Rogensack called the Elections Commission lawless for keeping the green ticket off the ballot. This lawsuit is not about the Green Party sleeping on its rights, she wrote in an opinion joined by the other dissenters. It is about the treatment that independent candidates from a small political party receive from the commission, who repeatedly refuse to follow the law relative to nomination papers. So you live in a lawless society. It's not Trump. It's not just Trump. The Democratic Party are every bit as craven as Donald Trump is, and that's a fact. Every bit as craven as Donald Trump is. They killed more people. They dropped more bombs. They created the prison industrial complex. They deregulated Wall Street. They kicked people out of their houses. The Democrats I'm talking about. They're just as craven and just as horrible as Donald Trump. I would say Donald Trump is willing to give people lip service to get a vote. The Democrats are not. Joe Biden won't even pretend he's going to give you health care. Donald Trump did. He pretended he was going to give you health care when he ran the first time. He pretended he was going to end the wars and invest that money back home. He pretended he was going to do infrastructure. At least he was willing to pretend. That's how craven and corrupt the Democrats. They won't even pretend. They won't even give you lip service. And of course, they're going to call it the spoiler effect. I love how they call it. Stop spoiling my chance to choose between two unbelievably shitty candidates. In a separate dissent, Justice Ziegler wrote that keeping a party candidate off the ballot is the ultimate in voter suppression. So the Democrats are all upset about the Republicans' voter suppression. Democrats will voter suppress like that if it serves them. And they're doing that. They're doing it to the Green Party and Howie Hawkins. Say what you want about the Green Party, and I have. They get ballot access. This idea that they don't have ballot access was bullshit. They know how to get ballot access, even when they have to go over odds like this. The majority decision deprives the Wisconsin people of a voice and strips them of one of the most fundamental tenets of this republic, the right to express one's will at the ballot box, Justice Ziegler wrote. So if you're a Democrat, you don't have any principles. If it serves you to suppress the vote, you will. If it doesn't, you won't. If it doesn't serve you to suppress the vote, you're going to stand up for the right to vote if you're a Democrat. If it serves you to suppress the vote, you will shut up and suppress that vote. And that's what they're doing. Because they're better than Trump. They're stripping you of the right to express yourself at the ballot box because they're better than Trump. You fucking chumps. Hallelujah. So, do you see the story he's tweeting out? Wisconsin Supreme Court rules the Green Party presidential ticket ineligible. He tweets out, best news of the day by a mile. Absentee ballots in Wisconsin can be mailed as scheduled now. Plus, there will be no Green Party spoiler on the ballot. The choice will be crystal clear. Fascism or democracy. Trump or Biden. The spoiler effect. You would spoil it for one of those fascist, corporatist, warmongering maniacs. You would spoil it for them. They call it the spoiler effect because only spoiled people think that's a thing. I mean, the Democratic Party are Democrats the same way donuts are a health food. If the Democratic Party spent as much time trying to court Green Party voters as they did trying to keep them off the ballot, maybe they might win. And maybe they might have a better climate change plan than, hey, we're going to get around to doing something about it by 2050. Remember, this is an assault on free and fair elections, but you need to vote for the duopoly anyway, and then maybe there'll be more fair in the future, our elections. Remember, this is an assault on fair and free elections. But you need to vote for the duopoly anyway, and then maybe there will be more fair elections in the future. Here's what Nick Brana, he retweeted that hack, Addie Barkin, and says, if stripping a party's ballot access to give Americans even fewer choices is what passes for democracy, then we have already surrendered to fascism. We have already surrendered to fascism.
Wow, Nick.
Barack Obama repealed habeas corpus, which is in the Magna Carta, which means they can arrest you and put you in jail without a trial indefinitely. Barack Obama made that happen. That is fascism. That is the habeas corpus. It's in the fucking Magna Carta. They repealed the Magna Carta, the Democrats. Barack Obama, the most sinister motherfucker ever to be president of this country, Barack Obama. The most destructive, sinister, Barack Obama. So literally, he's saying that the choice is democracy or fascism. Well, when you're cheering on other political parties for being removed from the election, isn't that already fascism? It is, Addie. You're already a fascist. The authoritarianism runs very strong on the left. Very strong. I saw somebody the other day, they didn't agree with someone. They said we should deplatform them. Just like that. And then when they got called out for it, they doubled down on it. Russiagators calling someone else a conspiracy theorist. That's rich. It's something when activists get caught up being hacks inside of a party like this. Liberals celebrating the Green Party not being on the ballot due to judicial and bureaucratic bullshit is exactly why they are so despised, and their performative whining about, oh my God, democracy is ending, rings so hollow. If you're paying attention, it rings hollow. If you're not and you're rich, it sounds like you're a real ballsy person when you say Trump is taking away our democracy. Liberals celebrating the Green Party not being on the ballot due to judicial and bureaucratic bullshit is exactly why they are so despised. And their performative whining about, oh my God, democracy is ending, rings so hollow. Very, very well said. My squirrel friend. I like squirrels. No one with a public platform dares say they support the Greens or another third party or even mention them, as they've been totally browbeaten into submission with the deranged Jill Stein hysteria. But that's not enough. They have to actually destroy any semblance of democracy. So just so you know, the Democrats did a very similar thing to Ralph Nader in 2004. In Oregon, they contacted people who had signed petitions to get Ralph Nader on the ballot, and they got them to recant their signatures. Yeah, that's what the Democrats did. This isn't about winning votes for the Democrats. This is about suppressing the vote. 100 million people in this country already don't vote. Democrats know who those people are, and they're not going after their vote. Democrats know that those who are disenfranchised, some of those 100 million people who don't vote, and they won't be able to vote green now, they're either going to write in their candidate, support another third party, or abstain, stay home. This is about disenfranchising an independent, non-corporate party. That's what this is about. And Greens have to run nationally to maintain ballot access. And because of Bernie Sanders' sheepdogging over the last 5 years, there isn't a third party. The Greens that didn't get built up. There's nothing. So now there's the Movement for a People's Party. There's the Greens this election. There's also the Socialist Party. There's also Peace and Freedom. This really would have been anyway. And just you know, All candidates are flawed. But I'll just say this about Howie Hawkins. Howie Hawkins has been meeting once a month in the poorest section of Syracuse for the past 20 years. So he can be a vehicle for social uplift. And to have the community's concerns heard in Syracuse's political culture and budget, to give poor people political power. So that's who the Democrats are hallelujah about keeping off the ballot. Someone who has been meeting with the poorest people in the poorest section of Syracuse, New York for over 20 years. Proud of yourselves? They are. You think you're better than Trump? You're not. Here's Crystal Ball. She nails it. She says, if only the Democratic Party would fight as hard to actually win voters as they are fighting to get the Green Party kicked off the ballot. You can't make this up. Wisconsin Democrats just justified blocking the Green Party from the ballot by saying that allowing them on would delay printing and mailing. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania Democrats are delaying printing and mailing in order to block the Green Party from the ballot. The Democrats are authoritarian fascists, warmongering, corporatist tools. And you're a chump if you think they're going to help you. Hey, decision in front of Pennsylvania Supreme Court keeps counties from mailing out ballots. The state Democratic Party's battle to keep the Green Party off the ballot is keeping counties from sending out mail-in ballots. I know other shows aren't going to cover this. I know other shows aren't going to tell you this. That's why you watch this show. It's easy. I don't even have to try to do this. Every day the Democrats get up and think, how can I be fucking horrible? And they all go right along with it. Bernie goes along with it. AOC, every member of the squad, Ro Khanna, they all go along with it. They're all they're all fucking politicians, man. Craven, narcissistic. Cuomo used the pandemic to change state law to crush the Working Families Party. The Democrats, their name is Democrat. They are not interested in democracy. Hey, it's almost as if both parties only care about maintaining access to power and money and don't give a shit about fair elections and what the people in their state really want. It's almost like that. Wait, what's a Democrat? So there you go. Democrats suppress the vote so they could get a warmongering psychopath like Joe Biden, who's demented and likes killing people and kicking people out of their houses. That's what Joe Biden likes doing. And he likes raping the earth. He's a big fracker. Well, let's move on. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.